What is it to be a good teacher?
In order to clearly explain our reflection, we have divided it in 3 parts. The fundamental role of the teacher is being the guide of the whole teaching-learning process. Effective teaching requires the teacher to be able to deploy a range of techniques. These include explaining, instructing, questioning, observing, assessing, diagnosing, and providing feedback. The main objective a teacher must have is finding the motivation to never get tired of his or her job, and this is one of the biggest problems we can face in the educational field. The most important thing in the didactic to be carried out by the teacher, the good teacher can use a wide variety of resources that will improve the daily lessons, especially with the aim of helping students develop their learning in a dynamic and enjoyable way. The good tutor should base his practice on the constructive theory, that is, to provide the students with diverse tools that will allow them to build their own knowledge. Primary teachers will be able to teach all subjects in depth required. For this reason, the successful teaching depends upon thorough planning. The coordination between tutors is essential, particularly between those teaching the same age groups or levels, as well as with the other educational members like the professionals in speech and hearing or in therapeutic pedagogy. It is true that this scenario requires a bigger effort, but the results are incalculable. It is a mutual job with the objective of development of the pupils in their studies. This can help identify the main problems or weak points that might exist among the student body, and thus find the required measures for solving them. It's vital for a good teacher to pursue the personal improvement of each pupil, as well as to understand and work with particular qualities that define them.
The teacher needs to know the ability of his or her student, should be able to turn them into independent individuals, and should provide them with the tools to flourish in real-life situations. The perfect way to create a healthy atmosphere in the classroom is to show yourself as someone fair and democratic. We should try every day to reach our pupils, to empathize with them, to connect with them. They should trust the teacher and be able to talk with him or her. They should know that the teacher could help them solve any personal issue. It also works the other way around. A good teacher should always trust his or her pupil. Keeping a good relationship with the pupil's family as well as making them actively participate in their children's education is vital to create bonds between family and the school. Finally, a good teacher should try to teach values. He or she must teach his student to be honest, to be humble, to apologize, to work in a team. What is it to be a good bilingual teacher? A good bilingual teacher is one that doesn't leave teaching motivation, one who has a lot of resources and qualities as a person and about classes material. The knowledge of a language is not the most important. A good bilingual teacher should be able to transmit in a foreign language every knowledge that he wants to teach to his pupil. A good teacher must demand a hard work of innovation, which allows him to investigate and explore different ways to teach his students. The teacher has many resources to work in the classroom, as well as make the lesson more enjoyable and dynamic through ICT tools or readings. One of the most used methods are activities or games, individual and groupal. It seeks the full participation of the students, as well as their motivation. For this, a system of points and prize or privileges may be adopted in advance, serving as an incentive.
As good guides of teaching, it would be recommendable to teach pupils to investigate on internet. They need to get used with the second language. For this reason, it's important that they practice it with music, books, video games, videos, movies, or series. Focusing on the methodology, a good bilingual teacher should not use the translation in his classes. Never translate the contents of the lesson to the mother language. The teacher must have ingenuity and be able to teach the contents in different ways, but always in the second language. There are some subjects, like natural science, in which the teacher must translate some vocabulary to do easier the explanation, moreover, make easier the comprehension of the students. In same occasions, there are some students who are not there for the pace of the class because they have problems to understand the second language. In this case, a good teacher should look for tools to help them. The teacher should make an effort giving individualized instructions. Not all the students have the same knowledge to follow the lesson as others have. One of the characteristics that a good bilingual teacher must understand is that when he is teaching a foreign language, he must teach the culture too. The students need to get used to other societies, understanding the cultural diversity. One thing that the teacher should keep in mind is the differentiation between stages. The first grades, the teaching must be focused in a visual way. Kids need to learn the language through pictures, action, and video to understand the content in an active way. In this early age, teaching must not be focused on reading. This makes a mechanical learning. Then, in later grades, they can begin with the writing and grammar. This system helps to improve the language development and the reading comprehension. Finally, a good bilingual teacher must participate in the teaching action of the center. Moreover, he must coordinate with the other teachers and professionals to reach agreement for the educational improvement of students. Besides, it must be compulsory to the teacher to participate in different projects of the school, especially those that promote the work with a second language like British Council or Earth Union.
In conclusion, a good teacher should act like a guide of teaching and learning process. We agree that teachers should provide the basic tools helping the student to learn. Every teacher must understand that each student has special characteristics. For this reason, the teacher must strive and work with the objective that all the students can overcome any difficulty. Finally, we think that the best option is getting away from the traditional system. A good teacher must know how to use all the different resources. Besides, he or she must show interest to teach the culture, because the language and the culture have a significant union.